The Costa del Sol in Spain promises sunny weather, beaches, history, culture, and a touch of luxury. We recently spent a week here at the Marriott Vacation Club Playa Andalusia. We really enjoyed the property, from the palm tree-lined pool to the private access down to the beach along the Mediterranean Sea. However, we didn't spend a lot of time at the resort. We spent most of our time making day trips. Day trip 1 was down to Estepona. As you can see, Estepona is about a 20-minute drive down the coast. We started our visit in the old town, wandering around the whitewashed, flower-filled streets. I could not get over how much charm there was around each and every corner. There's also a promenade along the Mediterranean Sea, and as you can see, there's far more beach down here than there was at our actual resort. So if you were looking for a place to lie on the beach and swim, you could come down here and rent a palapa and spend a day on the ocean. There's also plenty of shopping to be done, as well as lots of charming outdoor cafes. Day trip 2 took us to Puerto, Banús. This is a luxurious marina and resort town just 11 minutes away. It's known for its designer boutiques and million-dollar yachts. I suggest you go out for a walk on the pier to be able to look back and see the town, as well as the mountains that it's nestled against. And once you've had a chance to sort of explore the town, I suggest you head down to the end of the marina for the ferry Fly Blue. The ferry is inexpensive, you can grab a drink, and it takes you to the marina over in Marbella. So this is really a 2-for-1 day where you get to explore 2 different towns and 2 different cultures. And in between, you take this scenic boat ride, which gets you out onto the water. And if you're super lucky, you may be able to see dolphins. On our trip, we weren't that lucky, but we did thoroughly enjoy this trip and would highly suggest it. The ferry takes you to the marina in Marbella, and when you're ready to leave, you can just pick it up here and head back. Marbella has its own tree-lined promenade, which was really helpful because it was hot. It also was lined with outdoor cafes for you to experience the local cuisine. And of course, there's always the beach, and if you like water sports, this would be a great place to rent a jet ski or kayak. Day 3 had us heading inland to the Setenil de las Bodegas, as well as Ronda. This is about an hour-long trip up through the windy mountains. It's got spectacular scenery. Now, Ronda was the first of 3 inland trips that we made, and each of these inland trips took us on a windy mountain road. Most of these are only 2 lanes, so if you are not comfortable doing that, I'm going to suggest you just book a tour. There are plenty of tours that you can book that will take you from the coast inland, and that would be really an easy way to avoid having to do these roads. Now, tip number 2 is when you reserve a rental car, you need to know if you're reserving either a manual transmission or an automatic. Now, Pete really loves to drive a manual transmission, so anytime we go to Europe, we reserve one. And they're typically a little bit cheaper. However, you are driving on mountain roads, so you may want to go for the automatic. And my rental car tip number 3 is it's very easy to go into AAA and get yourself an international driver's license. We did not need one to rent a car. We never got pulled over. I'm just saying it's one of those CYA type situations where it's so easy to get. Just make a plan, get your international driver's license. So for our first stop, we stopped about 15 minutes north of Ronda in the Setenil de las Bodegas. And what this is it's a town that originally started as cliff dwellings that has sort of evolved into this whitewashed main street that's built underneath this cliff overhang. Now for me, this was a little bit of an Instagram versus reality moment where the Instagram pictures are so stinking charming, and when you get there, the reality is you're one of a million tourists that are there for the day. So I still think you need to go see it. It is kind of cool. However, Make this just like a little 30-minute stop. Just know you are not going to want to spend a whole lot of time here and then head back to Ronda where the really great scenery is. And by really great scenery, this is what I'm talking about. I loved Ronda's cliffside location overlooking the valley and the vast mountain range. It really was beautiful. In addition, it had some of the best historic and cultural sites. There's one of the oldest bull rings in Spain, and it's really most known for its iconic bridge that was completed in 1793. This is a view taken from on top of the bridge that I wanted to show you the pathway that you need to take to get down to get the pictures of the bridge. This is maybe not for everyone. It's great on the way down, always harder on the way up. Now on your way down, do you see that white building on the right-hand side of the picture? That right building will charge you to go further down the path to get photos of the bridge. We did not stop there. We continued on down the trail and we got plenty of great shots. These are the views that you get and you don't have to pay. Just a helpful hint. Now day trip 4 was to the Caminito del Rey. This was another inland trip that took about an hour and 22 minutes. So remember, anytime you go from the coast inland, you are going to have to go through some mountains, which involves a very windy mountain road. And in this case, we did it in the dark. I need you to know we were in Spain the end of September, and this is 7:30 in the morning. That's how dark it was. The sun didn't come up until about 8 a.m. Now, I was kind of scared to do this hike, and starting out in this dark cave did not help. After the cave, you come to the area where you pick up your helmet. And as you can see, it's pretty crowded, even though we all had reservations. Once you have your helmet, you are free to start the hike on your own. I thought we were going to have a guide, and that's why we had a reservation, but that's not true. You do the hike at your own pace. They tell you to give it about 2 hours. Pete and I finished it in an hour and a half. Now, I have to confess to you that I lost sleep the night before we did this hike. I was really worried I wasn't going to be able to do it. And the fact is, it's not strenuous. It is on the side of a cliff, but I felt very safe. And the scenery is so spectacular that you really are kind of distracted from the fact that you are on the cliffside. From this view, you can really see the old trail below the new trail. They did the new trail fairly recently. Again, I did feel safe. And this is the view of the bridge that I saw online that made me get the reservations and do this hike. This was another 10 out of 10 day. Day trip 5 was to Granada. Granada is 2 hours away, which makes it a really long day trip, but I'm here to tell you it was worth it. Now, because it was going to be 4 hours in the car, I'll admit we got our reservations way too late. It was maybe the week or 2 weeks before, so we did not get to explore all of the Alhambra, and we still spent about 4 hours there. I would definitely plan on spending half a day here and getting your reservations really early. Because we didn't get reservations early, we ended up paying about 3 times more than we would have, and it came with an audio guide that was terrible. Get a real tour guide. I feel like in one day, you can just barely scratch the surface of all that Granada has to offer. The cathedral is well worth a visit. We sat on a square and had lunch at a cafe, which we thoroughly enjoyed. And then maybe our favorite part of what we did that our daughter had actually told us to do was to play the game Spot the Pomegranate. They're on everything from downspouts to manholes. They're really everywhere. It's kind of a fun interactive game to play. And after 7 days of paella and sangria, it was time to say goodbye to the Costa del Sol. And I have one last tip for you. We returned our rental car to the Malaga airport, and that's where we left from. Since we have a Premium Priority Pass lounge access card, we were able to go upstairs and get a little free breakfast before we headed out. It was just kind of a nice touch before we headed out and on our way home. This is just a fraction of the things that you can see in the area. We didn't go to Gibraltar. We didn't go over to Morocco, but those are certainly options. So I hope I encouraged you to go spend a little time on the Costa del Sol, because we will certainly be back.